Johnny still has his gloves on. Didn't get a chance to get changed.
They kicked me back to like, you win the fight, come back, motherfucker. I didn't take my gloves off.
And I hate him so much.
Guys, I gotta be honest. I don't think Dana White likes Johnny Walker very much. I actually think he has a crimson red disdain for the man. He's never said as much, and I really have no proof to back that up, but I just have a sneaking suspicion. This Saturday, we're about to witness the first use of a guillotine beheading on live television since 1977. Johnny Walker is pitted against a walking cyclone in Zhang Mingyang in the main event of UFC Shanghai, and he is about to receive one of the most diabolical knuckle sandwiches right betwixt his eyeballs that we have ever seen. You might look at this matchup and, think about it and go, hey, that's a pretty good fight in that main event. Both guys can crack. This should be a banger. But I'm not so sure I agree with that. I do not look at this and glean any excitement from it at all. And in fact, I'm kind of dreading it. Now, it's perfectly normal for the UFC to use the name value of aging veterans to prop up prospects or younger contenders. It's always clear they want the younger guy to get his hand raised so they can use said big name to prop them up for future matchups. Just keeps things moving. And although that's what they're gunning for, you can get situations where the old man Jenkins is actually able to shut the naysayers up and pull off an upset and just big brother the younger guy, and in turn boosting their own stock. Everyone's mind probably goes back to Cowboy versus Hernandez back in the day, probably the most famous example. But we actually just saw this at 319 with Asakura versus Elliott. The 38-year-old caveman looking ass was obviously supposed to be a bit of a layup for the former Ryzen champ, but instead he choked the Lego studs out of him. He fucked him up. So yeah, despite how nefarious it can feel at times, I think it's fine for the most part. It keeps the sport moving, keeps things healthy. But I draw the line with fights like this. This matchmaking is straight up, downright mustache twirling villainy. This shit is dastardly. There was seriously no other option for Mingyang Jiang. Nothing to boost him up the rankings. We seriously had to feed the guy who's already been known for having the chin durability of Saran wrap and is also coming off 2 horrendous knockouts, to the guy who has won every single one of his UFC wins and plenty of others before that by brutal first round knockouts. There was seriously no other option. Nope. This is the only way, and I'll do you one better. It's the main event. Does anyone really expect Johnny Walker to not get his teeth fed to him in this fight? No, be for real. Don't lie to me. Pre the fight happening, before the fight, are you, yes you, picking Johnny Walker to win this bout? No, you are not, you stinky, smelly liar. Is there a chance Walker could pull off some wacky kickflip, spinning back elbow, quadruple liver shot, flying knee, and then celebrate by snapping both his forearms doing the worm? Sure. He has insane power, so I guess. He could very well pull something out his ass and we'd feel like doofuses forever doubting him, I guess. But I'm gonna doubt him. I can't pick him to win this fight off of whatever freak show metric he operates by. And I'm sorry, but despite the power and explosiveness he possesses, it's not just his chin that's the problem. I don't think he has the boxing fundamentals down enough to be able to get out of the way of Zhang Mingyang's blistering hooks. I just don't see it. I don't like this matchup for either guy, to be honest. Obviously, it doesn't make a ton of sense to take Johnny and throw him back into the meat packing plant so he can be made into ground beef right off the back of just witnessing that twice. I would much rather see him defend his ranking spot against a couple guys on the fringe of the top 15 and slowly work his way back up. He still has that raw athleticism and unorthodox strikes that would cause lower level fighters plenty of issues. And he's one of the more popular names at 205, so let's maybe take a few steps back and let the man get a bit of his confidence back. That's what I would do. And no, Azarmat Mirzakhanov and Bogdan Guskov wouldn't have been much better, you fucking butchers. We saw him do this actually earlier in his career after that streak of losses he went on, culminating in quite possibly the goofiest knockout of all time against Jamal Hill. Saw him go away and rack up 3 wins against less thunderous competition, and this landed him in basically a #1 contenders match against Magomed Ankalaev, which is weird to think about now. Man was pretty close to Alex Pereira actually, when you think about it. It would seem the UFC isn't too interested in doing that this time, and Walker isn't going to turn down a main event spot here. Will probably be paid pretty handsomely. So here we are. And on the other side of the coin, what the hell does this do for Jiang? We've already seen him blow through a veteran that was clearly well past his prime, and it landed him at the number 14 spot and basically proved us nothing. We all knew Smith was going to get bulldozed. We learned nothing from that fight. Now he's fighting the guy right ahead of him in the rankings, so if he wins, he'll move up exactly 1 spot. And even if you ignore the numbers next to their names, Regardless, it's not like this is going to land him a top 5 opponent next. It's clear they want to push this guy and break into that Asian market that's eluded them for years, and you know, that's cool. And Jiang is a very incredibly exciting fighter, and I'd love to see him in the mix at the top 5 with the likes of Yuri and Roundtree. That's box office. But all I'm saying is literally any other matchup ahead of him would have been preferred. Guskov, Uzdemir, Mirzakhanov, any of those guys available? Nope. Give him the husk of Johnny Walker so we can get a free knockout. Yeah, I know, I'm being a bit of a bitcher and a complainer and a little bit of a whiner, baby, but I just question the decision making with these matchups on occasion. I find it kind of hard to be excited about a fight where the outcome feels like a given going in, like it may as well be predetermined. Like when Jiang sends Walker slumping to the floor, I'm just going to be posted up like this. I don't expect a barn burner. I'm not going in thinking, oh shit, these guys are both power punchers and it could really go either way. I have no idea. I'm going in like, yeah, Walker's getting exploded. He is going to be exploded. And not just that, but listen, man, I like Johnny Walker. He's fun to watch and seems like a really nice guy. I kind of don't want to see his skid continue and watch him take unnecessary damage because they insist on putting him in there with power punching nightmares back to back. Anyways, I've been a negative reptile this entire video pretty much. On a more positive note, the rest of this card is looking mighty scrumptious, I must say. Brian Ortega versus Aljo as the co-main is S-tier matchmaking, contrary to the main. Excited to see the scrambles on that one. Hopefully we get a vintage Pavlovich performance. Hopefully he gets confidence back. We get a classic KO against the streaking, but ultimately very uninteresting Waldo Cortez Acosta. And this one will probably have title shot implications, so it's pretty important. Carlos Johnson is the one guy to knock out Joshua Van in the UFC, or beat him period, a while ago. He's up against Loner Kavanaugh. That is a certified sleeper hit right there. That fight is gonna fuck. Hey, we got Michelle Pajeda sprinkled in there. Fun. Pretty decent ass card, even if a lot of the more noticeable talent isn't actually Chinese. But, you know, hopefully a lot of those home crowd fighters can make some names for themselves. Case in point, I'm excited for the card more broadly, even if I'm dreading the main event.